Somebody else did. We'll walk.
Was this a fun dive? Nobody's saying anything.
You bring some up for dinner, Patty?
Some grass is coming up over there.
Oh shit, I couldn't catch you. Couldn't get you. I just said screw it, I used up all my air, so I just can't.
Well, Frank, was it any good?
Huh?
Was it any good?
Oh great. Nice, beautiful corals, soft corals.
Yeah, it's like one of the peace walls.
Only saw a few sharks.
Yeah, that's what sharks did.
What kind of schooling fish were those?
Those red snapper.
And there was something else with those jacks.
Bunch of jacks.
Nice soft corals. A lot of those crinoids are climbing out here. Oh, that's beautiful.
Lots of black coral.
Go ahead.
Okay, here we are on the island of Peleliu, where in September 1944, the members of the 1st Marine Division landed here. They thought it was going to be a pretty easy operation, but it turned out to be a pretty bloody operation. The Marines expected to secure the island within about 3 days. It took over 3 months. 1st Marine Division took over 50% casualties. They had to bring elements of the 81st Army Division here to help them out. As you can see here, this is the boat dock area. there's still some wreckage in here. And right over in this general area is the invasion beach. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little walk. And last year when Rob and myself were here, we found a U.S. Marine tank and some debris from the battle, some bullets. We also found some human remains. So Patty, myself, and Mr. and Mrs. Mael are going to see if we could find it and take some pictures of it.
In Germany, and I have a cousin who was in the Marine, who was in the Pacific.
There we go. This is the actual invasion beach. This is Orange Beach and White Beach, where 1st Marine Division landed. Even beyond that point, and down around that area, the Marines met the worst resistance. Looks very peaceful now, but not at that time. Was it's the old Amtrak. Wreckage of the war here. Don't know what it is. You can just see all over the place. Like this is some kind of supply area. See all kinds of 55-gallon drums. The jungle's just reclaimed everything. See what the Marines had to contend with. This is how the jungle is now. Obviously back then it wasn't as bad, but still you get an idea of what they had to contend with. This is the main road from the boat dock toward the airfield. It's pretty much the way a lot of the Marines took. There we have the remnants of a Japanese Zero. Get a little bit closer to it. And you could still make out a little bit of the coloration. There's some poles to string barbed wire up, so way back when there must have been something here. In a defensive position or a CP. This is pretty much the 7th Marine sector. We see some more wreckage, pretty much all falling apart from way back when. We have some more barrels. Pretty much everything is rotting away as a result of the... Okay, here we are in peleliu. As you can see, this is an old Japanese Zero. There's still some markings on it, barely see it red. So hopefully the Navy and the Marines shot this bad boy down. Took a few Japanese with them. And as you can see, the jungle's pretty much reclaimed everything around here. This whole area around here, way back when, was pretty much all flat, no vegetation, and the Marines had set up their positions around here, going east toward the airport, fanning out. This is pretty much the 7th Marine sector of fire.
Okay, that's it. Great. I got you covered, guys.
Here we are once again at Invasion Beach. Mooring buoy that Navy must have brought ashore. Just all along here. So peaceful now.
You will not be actually, after that first blue corner, you're no longer a novice.
I went from novice to advanced in one fell swoop.
Sorry, I don't think that makes two of us. Yeah.
We need to wait.
Always knows only clean water.
Hey, Bobbin for the...
Oh, thank you.
Hey, you pick that camera up in your mouth? Yeah.
What do you want me to do with this camera in my mouth? Or you want me to grab it, bob it?
You can grab that lens with your mouth. No.
The rock, when I went over him and he came out and just looked, peeked out as I came over.
I didn't notice it until he...
This is Orange Beach on Peleliu. This is where the 5th Marines and the 7th Marines landed in September 1944. This is what the Japanese saw. Right here we're at the former site of the 1st Marine Division Cemetery. All the casualties from the battle, they were originally interred here. Several years after the battle, the U.S. government decided to exhume the bodies and bring them back to the United States to local cemeteries. Right now, this is just primarily a memorial to the Army's 81st Division. And there's a couple monuments here. And you see, if we were from an aerial shot, you see USA here. And right in this general area was right where the Marines initially landed. Pretty much nothing left around here, but if we went into the woods, we'd find some bunkers and things. If you look over there in that general direction, you can see remnants of some bunkers over there, and we'll take a quick look over there, and then later on we'll see some of the actual bunkers. Right now we're about 50 yards in from the beach, and I would assume at this point, way back when, this is where all the Japanese bunkers were. We'll walk around a little bit from here and see if we could find something. But as you can see, the jungle is pretty much taken over.
This right side of me is White Beach 1 and White Beach 2 right there. This is where the 1st Marines and 1st Battalion landing here. And if you look over there, you can do the jungle, but you can see a little mount rocks over there, and there's a bunker. There's a hideout Japanese bunker for the big 37mm gun. Okay, so first we have to march down to the beach to see the White Beach, and then after that we have to come here, and I'm going to show you some of the spider holes and the bunkers and the box somewhere here. We're landing on this beach on D-Day of September 15, 1944, 8:30 hours. And when you look at here to your right side, and this is the high ground of the White Beach towards the north, this is the point. This is where I tell you that there were 500 Japanese were our stronghold in this area of 50 feet high ground, and started to attack all those 1st Marines when they land here. And the K Company, 1st Battalion, and Captain Hunt were their commanding officer. Were land on the point, and they all split in here. They go around and attack the 500 on inland. And if you look, this rough beach is coral, sharp coral, and this is where a lot of those the 1st Marines, 1st regiments were totally killed in action, lots of them on this beach. So the total of the 1st Marine Division will land on this beach on orange and white. There were 9,000 men. And then 3,000 were on reserve and 6,000 were landed. Totally the end of the campaign for 2.5 months. The Marines were killed in action were 1,194 killed and 6,000. This is where the 1st Marine and I Company and L Company were started to attack those 2 hills, and they got to the center of the Bloody Nose Ridge.
Got it. Go.
The regiment landed, and as we see out here in the surf, there's a little bit of remnants from, looks like an ambulance out here. Well, the only thing that's left is the strap. After the war, everything was pretty much salvaged from the beach and out in the surf zone, so there's pretty much nothing left on the beach today. As Kenji was saying, this is where Captain Hunt's troops landed. Went inland about 50 to 150 yards. They met stiff resistance from the Japanese, dug in a reinforced concrete bunker, which was bypassed by naval gunfire, and it wreaked havoc upon the Marines, and quite a few of them were iced and wounded. And it wasn't until the next day that that position was secure, at the cost of a lot of good young Marines.
Guns are all laid on the beach, and some of them all around, and a lot of ammunition on the caves and grenades and everywhere.
A little ways too.
Spiders, yeah, spider holes.
Can we go take a look at those too? What?
Too far away. We don't have time because we have to go back to the boat. But this time, ladies, I want to be for the ladies to walk slowly, please. And some of the ladies are too excited, so be careful. I want the gentlemen to be. These are the for the street. I don't know the name of the rules.
Look how it's all reinforced and everything.
Goes
Think
out the
you-
back too.
You think you'd die from concussion?
Yeah, you think so?
Look how thick the concrete is.
Yeah.
Good God. And that's why. That's how they were able to survive. You know.
Oh yeah.
You sound like
I live here.
like is
You want to
that
come back? Yeah, I even have a little right.
This is all bunkers around here. You just tell.
what?
You could just tell these are all bunkers here. That were pretty much blown up. You see pieces of metal all around. Goes back around here. So this was a major fortified position here. Way back when it gave really good field to the beach.
You think it was Japanese?
We're at the side of where Captain Hunt's troops assaulted some bunkers, and the bunkers are all what's remaining of them here. What I have in my hands are rifle machine gun barrels. Might even be something more, maybe like a 37mm anti-tank gun. Still have a lot more wreckage around here, just laying around. It's really sad, and as you can see how much the jungle has grown back in 50 years. This is it. This is peleliu. Thousands of lives were lost, both American and Japanese, for nothing. They didn't even need to take this island. Here we have here an entrance to a cave. That was a combination of a bunker as well. And the whole island is pretty much like this. Now, right now, land crabs live in there. So you can see, you know, just how thick this cave was. It was all reinforced with concrete and utilizing the natural limestone. Some more bunkers here. You can see how the Japanese just dug in.
Really? I gotta look at that.
The plate right there.
Like that, those are pearl ridges. All the Japanese were behind there and shooting toward the beach in the north. So they both fought Japanese pearl point in here, and American troops were, of course, ridges for the levels they were hitting.
More Japanese bunkers all along here.
Go.
Here we are in front of the many Japanese bunkers and pillboxes around here. This looks like a remnant of a sea rat. We're about 150, 200 yards from the beach, and this is pretty much what the Marines had to come up against. As you can see here, it's like 4 feet thick reinforced concrete, coral, and everything else. Inside of here were probably some machine guns, anti-tank weapons, and all kinds of other trash. Field of fire probably extended right along the beach here, right along the flank. Marines just got their asses waxed, but they won. God knows how. A lot of bloodshed. Too bad. This whole ridge line here, as you can see, is littered with Japanese bunkers. Massive. All along this little ridge here. And this is what the Marines had to get by. Reinforced concrete bunkers. Tremendous. I don't know, maybe some offering. More bunkers here. They've been pretty much destroyed, obviously. Here's an entranceway. All along here. It's all the caves and bunkers. Some wreckage around here. Not a whole lot.
Another cave, my God. Look at that.
These are those same caves and bunkers looking from the frontal direction. You really can't see anything. It's a combination of good camouflage and the fact that 50 years jungle growth has really much covered them all. That's where they are.
Black house. And this black house, it was storage and also in early time for Japanese time. And now the Japanese were changed it to be auto shop. And then after the invasion, the Americans reused this one for a battalion aid station for the 1st Marines. And today, we're going to designate this building for our 1st Marine Division World War II Memorial Museum. The auto shop or mechanical room. And okay, ladies and gentlemen, you are now looking at the 2 American LBTs. On to the left is an LBT-2, and on to the right is the LBT-A4. LBT-A4, 75mm gun, 5 men, and runs in 6 miles in water and 25 miles inland. And LBT-A4 is also can use for flame.
To Bloody Nose Ridge, and these are some LVTs with the basically amphibious tanks that were knocked out on the way to Bloody Nose Ridge. During the first 1 or 2 days of the battle, the Japanese attacked the American positions generally a little bit south of here where the airport is, and the Japanese sent about 100 tanks to try and break up the American formation. Unfortunately, the Japanese tanks were nothing compared to what the Americans had, and although they had about 100 tanks, they weren't nearly strong enough to do any damage to the Americans, and inside of about a half hour, all 100 Japanese tanks were destroyed. But these 2 babies, you know, they have about 2 inches of iron on here. On the way to Bloody Nose Ridge, they were pretty much channelized on a small causeway, and the Japanese, which were in these reinforced bunkers and tunnels, what they did was they just shot them with their anti-tank weapons to just, you know, put them out of action. If we looked around here, we could probably see where the rounds went in, but you know, it's pretty much been rusted away after so many years. It's pretty impossible to tell. But for the most part, you could just tell on this one here where you could see the gun. The gun on this side is so much larger than anything the Japanese had. This was probably a 75mm gun up here, and the Japanese tanks pretty much had, what, 37mm guns on their tanks?
47.
37, and the Americans were like 75mm. Right. So you could just tell, you know, these American tanks, amphibious tanks, they were so much more powerful than anything the Japanese had. Really? And pretty much all rusted out right now, but you could just tell they was so much larger than the Japanese. If we have time, maybe Tenji will stop by and just show us the Japanese tank, and you can just see comparison and difference.
Okay. This is where the attack. An army came later to attack, but over 11,000 Japs enemy in here. And if you look at this white area here, this is the limestone quarry. We use this one now to put on the airstrip and the road. CB's construction battalion and the new team in Corridor, they're already in peleliu, and they're helping us for the road. And the high hill is the Wall Ridge. Now we renamed it 1984 for Pope Hill. So this time, ladies and gentlemen, I want every gentleman move your head, and I want everybody to be quiet and stand still. And I want to let you time to win. He's going to read a Pope citation.
Yeah, 50 guys, 200 guys. At that time, his company was about 250 guys. His mission was to seize and take this hill, but unbeknownst to him, this was just one hill of a series of ridges, and at that time it was called, immediately called Pope's Hill, and then Walt Ridge because it went along so far. It was, I think, September 29th when he tried to take it. He took it initially. He went up there with 250 guys. He came back down with eight survivors, and a lot of guys there was wounded. And the fighting up on top of the hill was so bad that they had to leave a bunch of bodies up there, and it wasn't until about 2 or 3 weeks later when the Marines tried to retake the hill that they were able to recover the bodies. It's pretty extraordinary. During this whole battle, there was 8 guys, 8 Marines who won the Medal of Honor. 3 of them were survivors. And during all of World War II, there was only about 120 Marines who won the Medal of Honor out of 4 years fighting and roughly 500,000 guys in uniform in the Marines. And this is his citation for the Congressional Medal of Honor, which, to get the Medal of Honor, you have to do something really ballsy. And obviously he did. Okay, the President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Medal of Honor to Captain Everett P. Pope, United States Marine Corps, for services set forth in the following citation. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty while serving as commanding officer of Company C, 1st Battalion, 1st Marines, 1st Marine Division, during action against enemy Japanese forces on Peleliu Island, Palau Group, on 1920 September 1944. Subjected to point-blank cannon fire which caused heavy casualties and badly disorganized his company while assaulting a steep coral hill. Captain Pope rallied his men and gallantly led them to the summit in the face of machine gun, mortar, and sniper fire. Forced by widespread hostile attack, deployed the remnants of his company thinly in order to hold the ground won, and with his machine guns out of action and insufficient water and ammunition, he remained on the exposed hill with 12 men and 1 wounded officer, determined to hold through the night. Attacked continuously with grenades, machine guns, and rifles from 3 sides, and twice subjected to suicidal charges during the night. He and his valiant men fiercely beat back or destroyed the enemy, resorting to hand-to-hand combat as the supply of ammunition dwindled, and still maintaining his lines with his 8 remaining riflemen when daylight brought more deadly fire, and he was ordered to withdraw. His valiant leadership against devastating odds while protecting the units below from heavy Japanese attack reflects the highest credit upon Captain Pope and the United States Naval Service. Pretty ballsy to me. I don't think I could do that.
Who signed that? Roosevelt or Truman?
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
How did he do it? How did he attack?
I assume he went up from the road here, and
On the east side. East.
usually what you do is when you're attacking a position, you set up your machine guns, your automatic weapons fire to try and suppress the enemy who is dug in all along. I'm sure there's plenty of caves up around here and from these hills here. And him and his troops just tried to take it, and just from the citation, doing some reading, it pretty much took all day to get up there. He went up with 250 people, and came back down with 8. I mean, that's pretty suicidal to me.
What did it look like here at the time? Was there any vegetation? Or was it
Kenji has pictures of it. It's pretty much devoid of any kind of vegetation from napalm strikes, from artillery and naval gunfire. So
Even on the hill itself?
pretty much on a hill. He has some pictures where, I don't know if it's this hill or another one, but it looks just like a moonscape. And that's pretty much how the whole island looked. But it was before the battle that, they had a lot of vegetation.
Here's the Pope Hill, his hill, and he pointing up and cried and said, "This is it. I'm Captain calling my men who died on the top of this hill, but I want to know, are they still there?" So he turned around and called and said, "Boys, are you up there?" That's where he said, and he cried a lot. Everybody watching him is crying. Even his wife, Eleanor, cry too. So, but when he's pointing up and cry a lot, and his tears fall down on this earth of peleliu, on his motherland, and we renamed this hill to him to honor and respect.
Oh, a big cave there.
Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman is living in Fernandina Beach, Florida, and he was very nice
down
to
by
me.
you.
And he's really, they honor and respect the island until
You
today.
just tell us this whole.
Was it hard for him?
It is, it's
Like,
really hard.
was that his first time back?
And it's the second time. First time he fight, and the second time he's come to visit his motherland. Top of the Bloody Nose Ridge, base of Hill 300. You're looking at the visiting the 1st Marine Division monument. They put this one in 1985 February, and the 2 plaques on the side they put that one in 1994. American citation, and also the plaque for those men, brave young Marines, the 1st Marine Division win the Medal of Honor on this island. 8 of them, 3 survived.
Okay, these 2 hills, what are they?
Yeah.
What's the name of those 2 hills? Is there any
Those
significance?
hills on to the right is the Pope Hill, and
Oh,
then
that's
next to the
Pope Hill?
Five Brothers.
Oh, that's, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's...
That's Pope Hill? Where you came from?
Now, from a lot of the pictures, they show like a reservoir. Would that be down around that area?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the other hill you were talking about.
This whole area known as Bloody Nose Ridge? This whole
For the whole area.
formation?
So the whole information in here, there's all Bloody Nose Ridge. And if you look over there, that's the Hill 200. Bosby and Boyd Ridge, over to the north. 210 is White Beach. Next to the White Beach is Orange Airstrip. Companies in this area, the Bloody Nose Ridge. This is where it took 2.5 months fighting all towards the north to the Bush Island.
So this is where they dropped all the napalm. The
Right.
pictures that you see taken off from the airfield, they just came up here and just dropped it on top of there.
So
Correct.
yeah, so they cure it, and they wait the Americans open the flamethrower and or torch them inside the cave. And our Army Engineering Battalion, they used the bulldozers and the civvies were scoop all everything on the ground, and they sealed the 218 caves. And hike to the top of the Hill 205.
Try to use it for ammunition too.
Yep.
Wow. Look at the platform around it.
Yep.
See the rifling still? Let me back up some. Come on.
But you guys are doing, we are almost out of time, so I want everybody to be fast and looking and get their video filming and